Well, so as part of our workday learning is concerned from a BA perspective, we have discussed even about the integration part, right? So this is all something that we have already discussed in the earlier session. Now we are focusing on the business process and system requirements translation, how this can be done as a BA when we are working on the workday platform where multiple BA skill sets are required, something like requirement illustration, requirement business analysis, planning and monitoring all these. In this regard, so as a business analyst working on Workday, we must be knowing about the current state business process flow, wherein we need to map end-to-end process flows, right? So at the same time, identifying what are the different bottlenecks as well as inefficiencies to be find out. Along with this, we must be knowing about the document manual steps and as well as the pain points here, followed by gathering and stakeholder input, all these. These are all the current state business processes we must be good with. Second, about the process analyzation and optimization, where we have to analyze the process data, whatever the data that is to be processed, etc. Followed by this, we need to identify what are the different areas for standardization that are to be identified and to implement it. Along with this, we must be knowing about the redesign workflow for the efficiencies, because whatever the existing system design that the team has in context to the old system, now we are translating into the new system. So new system designing, either it can be high level as well as the low level design flow is required. So pre-designing the workflows for efficiencies, etc. has to be done. Next, defining the user roles are again important, because when as part of stakeholder engagement, as I already mentioned, we need to interact with different users, right? So defining the user roles, understanding about the roles from the user perspective. This kind of understanding is always advisable. So we need to define the user roles, etc. Everything has to be performed here. Third, illustration process, which normally we conduct some chat sessions and all, wherein we can capture the functional requirements. At the same time, defining some non-functional requirements, something relating to performance, scalability, load balancing, tolerance, fault tolerancing, maintainability, availability, all these, which includes mapping the business rules for any kind of system logic, identifying the data requirements. All these things will be part of requirement illustration. Next, we need to detail the system requirement specification, which is nothing but software requirement specification in short. In the software requirement specification, the functional business requirements, we can write user stories that we can do, right? So in the detailed specification of the software requirement specification, in addition to the user stories and use cases we write, generally this we can create as using Jira. Okay, we have user tool like Jira, or at the same time we have Rally, at the same time Azure DevOps. These are different tools are available to write user stories and all this. Use case, we have a specific document for use cases we can prepare. So data model creations and field mapping, etc., we can prepare under the system requirement specification by understanding over the hardware and as well as the software requirements for the project. Again, it depends on whether it can be on-premise or it can be cloud environment. On-premise specification is different. Cloud environment specification is something different. Along with this, if you want to go for integration purpose, we need to define what are the different API specifications that we must be well versed with. Along with this, we need to obtain stakeholder sign off for configuration, etc. We have to do. So when it comes to the business process and system requirements translation as a BA, so these are the four things that we need to do. We need to know about the current state of business process flow, need to understand that. Along with stakeholders interaction, we'll be knowing all these. Next, process analyzation optimization. This is the second thing that we have to be good with. Next, requirement illustration. That is the third one, followed by this detailing the system requirement specification. All these things has to be done. Subsequently, this implementation of configuration and as well as implementation will be taken care of by the development team. Technical team will be taking care of all this. This is one of the core and key knowledge area as a BA we have to perform in Workday.